Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Charles Dockins, and you're in tune to the Audio Infusion Green Room session. Okay, who am I? Obviously a musician, producer, DJ, I sing as well. Also a teacher, uncle. I love to goof. I enjoy mentoring our young at-risk males. And in general, I just lay back, relax, and I just like to enjoy life. I got into DJing just because I enjoyed music. Just as a kid growing up, just had records around the house, and had actually a cousin of mine, he was in a rap group called the Power Force, and they were DJing. So it kind of became something, most of us, we were around 12 or 13 years old, we all wanted to have two turntables, a mixer, and a microphone. That was what every DJ had. And so as a kid, just listening to hip hop, big fan of hip hop at that time. And so that's where I really started getting into DJing. Then I moved from hip hop to house music. How I got into music production. I got into music production listening to WEBB, and guys were mixing on there, and we used to pause mix. And that was like the first step. Went from there into DJ and actually mixing the records. Started hanging out at Fantasy, Signal, and it all started to come together in terms of wanting to produce the music rather than just spinning the music. So that's how I got into production. I also wanted to manage acts. And also a big influence for me was at that time was the Basement Boys, especially Teddy and Tommy, when they worked in the record shop, because I could take my demos down there and have them critique them. But at the same time, they were making hit records, but they were so accessible, it made it very easy to get into the production. DJing, producing, or playing an instrument, all three of them actually, for me, they all work together. If I didn't start DJing, I wouldn't have had the interest in the music production stuff. And I found that being a musician really sharpens my production skills. So I can't see one being preferred over the other. They all have to work together. They all have to balance out. I can't be so much of a musician that I don't listen to other people's music and think about the DJing aspect. And I can't be so much of a DJ that I don't get into the music where I'm understanding how to actually form chords and bass lines and accompaniment and melodies. So they all work hand in hand. Getting paid for my first production, it was different because it was very little money. It wasn't the big record deals that we hear about. In fact, it was just enough money to cover legal fees, to have contracts drawn up. But just the opportunity to finally do a piece of work that was published and available, that was amazing. Because at that time, I think I was around 19 years old, between 19 and 20 when I started doing my first releases. So even though it wasn't a lot of money, it was still a major accomplishment because we never got paid to make music ever in my life. So it was a great feeling. Right now I try to listen to a little bit of everything. Classical, jazz, blues, hip hop, R&B, pop, country, western, you name it. If it's accessible, I try to give it a listen. I think what makes it music interesting is that everyone's approach is educational for me. So whenever I listen to, whether it's a pop record, whether it's hip hop, house, there's always something for me to learn. So there's no particular genre that I will lean to, but I try to give a good balance of everything. first of all, I just want to thank God for giving me the ability and the talents and the opportunities and the open doors that He's provided for me to even be producing music. And also thank Him for all the people who He put in my path to help me be successful. I want to thank my mother because she made it possible. She was the first one who put me in front of that piano and actually made it possible for me to even be involved in music. Outside of that, just all the numerous DJs in Baltimore, big up to especially the Basement Boys. It was a big influence, major influence on me in the early days of 90s house music. I hate to try to name everybody, so just thank you to everybody who's just been a tremendous help. All my artists, James Howard, Joe Wormley, Sheila Ford, Lynette Smith, those are the special folks to me. Pedro Herrera, these are folks who I've worked with for many years and just always been there and faithful. So thank you, everybody. Sorry if I missed you, but you're all special to me. Peace.